Good afternoon, everybody. A cold greetings from Slovenia, Europe. Uh, it is sunny here and minus 10 degrees at the moment, so we're in the middle of the winter. But it's still nice, winter is nice. We have lots of snow, we have beautiful weather, we can go outdoors. But let's talk today about studying in Slovenia, studying in Europe. By the way, Slovenia, the country I'm coming from, is the only country in the world where we have love in our name, and this is how we are. A little bit about Slovenia. Slovenia is located in Central Europe, so it is the country that is bordering to the west to Italy and to the north to Austria. So from my country to Austria, to capital of Austria, to Vienna, it's actually 2 hours by car or maybe 3 hours by train. It is 5 hours to Munich in Germany, 5 hours to Milano in Italy. So it's quite centrally located. You can take daily train to actually anywhere in Europe. We're a very small country. We only have 2 million population. That's about the size of Kochi, for example, in Kerala in India. Uh, Approximately 20,000 square kilometers. So it is quite smaller than India, but still it is a country on its own. Uh, we are the member of course, of the United Nations, of OECD. This is Organization on Economic Development and Cooperation. It's actually the club of most prominent, of most wealthy, if you will say, countries in the world. We're a member of European Union. We're a member of North Atlantic Treaty. We have euro as our currency, and we are a part of Schengen area. And we are one of the safest places in the world. I'll come to that a bit later. We have quite high mountains, so our country has a share of alpine world, so it's like Himalayas. We have close to 3,000-meter high mountains, which are all covered by snow at the moment. We have a fair amount of forest in our land. Almost 2/3 of the land is covered by the forest, so that means it's totally green. And we have about 9% of arable land, but this is not what Slovenia is famous for. Our population, the average age is 43 and 3 years. We have about 7% of foreigners living in our country. Quite scarcely populated. The density of population is not high, not as high as India. Interestingly, we have a very high literacy rate. That means everybody that is capable of getting know to read and write is getting it. So everybody, the primary school is compulsory, the secondary school is compulsory. We have very few infant deaths per births. We have very high, one of the highest life expectancies in the world. So I think we're in the 4th or 5th place. Hong Kong has the highest at 84. We have it at 81 at the moment. So it's still quite high. That means it's a very well-developed country, safe country with a good health service. So to compare our economies, our GDP is almost 46 billion euros, and India has it at 2,400 billion. So it's about 50 times larger Indian GDP compared to Slovenia. But per capita, we have almost 10 times as much is in absolute values, and 5 times as much in per purchasing power parity adjusted values. So we are at the 72% of EU average, or almost 90% of EU average when it is adjusted for purchasing power. So we have a better economy than, for example, Greece and Portugal in Europe, and about the same economy as Spain in Europe. Slovenia is very well known for high taxes, which means that we have a very good public services, and we have free education for our citizens, from first school to the masters. So including the masters, it's free for our students. Kindergarten is heavily subsidized. You only pay for the first child in the kindergarten, not for the second, not for the third. The only tuitions that our citizens are paying is for PhD, and most study programs do have enough places, except medicine and, for example, policing and some other study programs. It also means we have free healthcare for everyone. That means that once you get employed, your taxes are deducted automatically of the employer's and employees' salary. So everything goes directly into the government fund. And that's why, for example, we have 1 year full paid maternity leave, and up to 3 years it can be partially paid. Why am I talking about these high taxes? I'm talking about this because our university is a public university, and all our costs are covered by our government. So anything that you as a potential student is paying to our university is actually just being the add-on, so to speak, just to cover the change of the language, so that we have the English language course. We do have the public retirement system, so it's government-owned retirement system. That is one only, not many. It is the same for the public and the private sector, and the taxes are again directly paid by the employer. And the current retirement age is 65 years for both men and women. Why is it important? Because when you get employed in Slovenia, your taxes get deducted automatically, but you get very high system of social benefits. I will talk a little bit about tourism in Slovenia. Why is it important? Because I'm coming from the Faculty of Tourism. In Slovenia, we have 4% of GDP is directly induced by tourism, 12% is induced. We get 5 million visitors per year compared to 18 million in India. So just to give you a comparison, I told you before that India has 50 times bigger economy than Slovenia, but only 3 times as many tourists as in Slovenia. That means that we take tourism seriously, as a serious business. It is a good business. That's why we have decided to be a green destination by all means. So environmentally friendly, sustainable. We thrive in experiences. We do take care of our guests so that they spend a lot of money in Slovenia. It was declared by European Union as the European region of gastronomy destination. So we have lots of specialty foods this year going around in Slovenia. So, sorry. If there are any parents currently listening to the presentation, let me assure you that Slovenia is a very, very safe country. It is actually one of the safest countries in the world based on the Global Peace Index. You can check it, you can Google it, you can browse it. You'll see that Slovenia is placed way better than, for example, Switzerland and Germany and Australia, not to mention United States. So Coming to Slovenia, you will be completely safe, totally safe. Nothing will ever happen to you. You can freely walk down the streets anytime, at night, during the day. Nothing will actually happen. Um, about our university, the university I'm coming from, our university is among the top 500 best universities in the world. Uh, why is this important? Of course, it is important when you graduate from our university and you get your diploma, and everybody will actually check where you're coming from. Because you're coming from the top university in the world, your diploma will be recognized not only in the European Union, but also worldwide, in Canada, in United States, and Australia, everywhere else. So everybody knows about University of Maribor. We have about 13,000 students. 4% of those are international students. The average number of students per staff is 15.5, 4. At our faculty, it's a bit lower. And interestingly, there are more girls studying at our university than boys. So to talk about our faculty of tourism, I mentioned to you earlier that tourism is a serious business in Slovenia, but not only in Slovenia. Just for comparison, half of global tourism happens in Europe. So every second tourist is a tourist in Europe. That's why we have a faculty of tourism. We study tourism. We help tourism by developing knowledge and experiences and everything else. We teach our students how to work in the tourism sector. Our faculty is located in a close proximity to Slovenian largest spa, so the health center. That means we have highly interactive studies with hands-on experience. So it is practically oriented, absolutely practically oriented studies. Internship is a part of education process. Most of the time, the internships are paid for by the companies. So students can get their internship part of their studies paid. We offer lots of field work. We actually require our students to go to work in the field. We insist that it's impossible to study tourism from a classroom. You have to go out, you have to meet providers, you have to go to the hotel, you have to go to national parks, to be there, to know, to learn how they do the business. And our students get lots of field trips around Slovenia and also abroad throughout Europe. We have a very enthusiastic faculty. We have very friendly staff. We have an excellent student to faculty ratio, currently at 10:1. And our team is very young. That means we do take care of our students all the time. We offer two programs in tourism in English. The first one is Bachelor of Tourism. It lasts 3 years. It is 180 European Credit Transfer System points, so-called ECTS. The tuition fee is 3,500 per year and covers basic costs of study, field trips, study literature, a dormitory that is extra. As I mentioned, the Bachelor of Tourism is very much practically oriented. We have 420 hours of practice. That translates to more than 2 months of student work placement, which, as I mentioned, can be paid. So part of the study program is actually you working for the company, learning how to do the tourism work, and get paid at the same time. So you study and get paid at the same time. That applies also to our international students. So in Bachelor of Tourism, in our program, you get a very broad knowledge of tourism, of the spa, of the hospitality, of the sports tourism, of the cultural heritage tourism, and of rural development tourism. So this is actually what defines the green destination. When asked what makes your faculty or your school distinctive, I say we are not a hotel school. We do not teach our students how to run a hotel primarily. Of course, we do teach our students how to run the hotel, but this is not the primary focus. So the focus is actually on being sustainable, on being able to attract and keep as many tourists as possible, not only at the hotels, but also at our areas of tourism as well. The curriculum, the link is here. I will post the link into the chat a little bit later, so you get to see the list of subjects that we cover. As I said, I'll post it to the chat a little bit later. We also have the Master of Tourism. So it is 2 years. It's again in English, 120 European credits granted. Tuition fees are the same, 3,500 euros per year, excluding field trips, study literature, dormitories, and everything else. Here, our students get in-depth knowledge and focus on future trends in tourism. So we teach our master students what will the future tourism be like, not what is going on today, because whenever you graduate after 2 years, whatever is today, it's the history already. We prepare our students for tomorrow. We have so-called 3 pillars. The first one is digital, the second one is sustainable, and the third one is healthy or well-being, or just pampering our students, so making our tourists, so making tourists feel well. Again, the link to the curriculum and everything else will be shared through the chat in a moment. What are the eligibility criteria? For bachelor degree, you only have to have it finished your secondary education, so either 12 years or 10 plus 2. Basically, you need to have the right to enroll to Indian university. There is a process called recognition of previous studies, which is done by our university. The only requirement that is, but it is not requirement of our university, but the requirement of the embassy, it is IELTS minimum 5.5. Which you need to have not at the time of application, but just before going for the embassy and interview. That is all you need. There is no open board. The places are plenty and enough. So basically, if you apply, you'll get, and your English is good enough, you will be accepted. For the second level, for the master degree, it's just the same. So you have to have the completed first degree at an internationally recognized higher education institution. That means in India, you have to be on the list of accredited universities, which I guess you know it. Again, the IELTS minimum 5.5 is required also for the master. Post-landing service, of course. On-campus accommodation is available. It runs around 180 euros per month. It can be lower or higher. It depends on the student's preferences. Off-campus accommodation and services are provided by local providers, and we give our students guidance if they want to go off campus. We do organize airport pickup, but public transportation is available. There are many airports available, including public transportations from the airports. But this is really something that we add on to our students as they arrive to our country. So to summarize, let me again tell you what are the basic and the most important strengths of our university of studying in Slovenia. Our university is government-owned and public university. So it will not go bankrupt. It will not stop existing in a year or two. It is a modern study program. It is totally practically oriented. Internship is a part of the study program, and it is being paid most of the time by the companies. We do have English language of instruction, of course. We do offer additional language inside the study program, German. So it is perfect for all of you wanting to studying in Germany. We offer our students also to learn Italian language and Slovenian language, and all this is included in tuition. So students that are completing actually our study program, they get enough German to be able to start working in Germany actually. IELTS 5.5 is required at the time of application for the visa. In the last few years, it was 3 months maximum for the visa. So from the time you applied for visa at the embassy to get the visa, it was 3 months maximum. This year we were able to do it in 2 months actually, despite COVID. So it was really good processing. I guess there are not so many applications for visa at the embassy at the moment, so they process them faster. We do offer at least 1 year stay back period. So at least it can be extended before the graduation to 2 to 3 years actually. We do individual counseling to our students how to extend the stay back if they want to continue working in Slovenia. Citizenship can be granted in 7 years of holding the temporary residence permit, actually the visa. I haven't mentioned the working. Our students can work part-time, which is just the definition of how much is being able to earn without paying taxes. So 3,800 a year, the student can earn tax-free. After that, the earnings are taxable. But in principle, the students can work full-time. What in practice means that we adjust our schedule to our international students so that in the morning they can work full-time, and then we start our lectures typically by noon or later on in the afternoon. So we are aware that our students are working, and we adjust our schedules to our working students. There is a government-regulated minimum wage for students, which is 6.5 euros at the moment per hour. And that includes basic health and also pension insurance. So basically you get social security when you work as a student, so-called part-time work, but you can be working 40, 60, 80 hours per week. It is not limited by the number of hours being worked. We have a very good connectivity to neighboring countries. So we have daily buses and trains to Munich, to Berlin, to Vienna, Rome, Venice, Paris, Prague, so even London. So any place you want to go, it's easy to get from Slovenia. Of course, we offer Erasmus exchange, meaning you can spend some time in Europe, in other European university, in the other European country, and you do not have to pay anything extra for that. So you just decide that for the third year, you go abroad, you'll study abroad, no problem, and nothing extra needs to be paid for this. This concludes my presentation. Have a good day, have a pleasant afternoon, and hope to see you soon in Slovenia. Goodbye. So, goodbye.